Today we'll be reading The Tale of Kith Kark from the Tales of the Jedi Companion by George R. Strayton. The Tale of Kith Kark. Kith Kark never liked technology. Even though some Godel had become accustomed to constant electromagnetic emissions, Kith's acute sensitivity to such radiation prevented him from getting within a dozen meters of electronic devices, especially droids and computers. His family was forced to move into the wilderness of Antar IV to avoid the technology that continually interfered with Kith's sense cones. In the remote wilds, Kith learned to ride the half-dozen beasts that were used for short-distance transportation millennia ago. Whenever he was forced to travel to one of the Godel cities on Antar IV, or to another system entirely, Kith climbed aboard his small Varda-class starship, a vessel abandoned long before for newer technology, and programmed every jump by hand. He took every opportunity to eliminate the need for computers or droids, even if it meant an increase in the danger level of his journeys. On one sightseeing excursion, a quick jaunt to the Truoin system, Kith suddenly realized that he had no vocation in life. He spent the majority of his time caring for the animals his family had bred for sustenance, but otherwise he felt he had no identity. Something was missing from his life. It was as if he had not yet even stepped onto the true path that would lead him to his destiny. On Truoin, the single planet in the system, Kith encountered a group of Jedi apprentices who had just arrived. They said they had come to Truoin to learn from one of the greatest Jedi instructors, Master Mroon Jassa, who had maintained a small training compound here for several decades. Kith immediately sensed the would-be Jedi's anticipation, but recognized that beneath that surface layer was an underlying calm, a peace bond between the Jedi and the universe unlike anything Kith had ever witnessed. Something inside him, a part of his being he had never explored, welled up, whispering that these Jedi held the key to Kith's own destiny. Kith decided to accompany the Jedi to Master Jassa's compound near Truoin's North Pole. Upon arriving, the Jedi were welcomed by Master Jassa, but Kith received no salutation. Shocked and slightly offended, Kith presented himself and boldly stated that he wanted to become a Jedi. But Master Jassa continued to ignore him, occupying himself instead with his new apprentices. Now more than a little annoyed, Kith demanded Master Jassa's attention, declaring again that he wanted to become a Jedi. Master Jassa turned slowly to regard Kith and said, "By your own actions, you have proven that you are not ready to commune with the Force. Now I suggest you leave. Perhaps the next time you return, you will be ready to make a commitment." Kith came away feeling angry and dejected, unsure of what Jassa meant, and equally unsure of what his next step should be. He knew he would become a Jedi. He was ready to become a Jedi. How dare Master Jassa refuse him? Who did he think he was? Kith returned to Antar IV, and spent every spare moment learning of the Jedi from any source he could get his hands on, from ancient historical texts to questionable documents supposedly detailing the meaning of the Jedi Way. When he had exhausted every possible avenue of knowledge, he returned to Truoin, confident that Master Jassa would admit him to the Jedi training compound immediately. But when he arrived, Master Jassa treated him exactly as he had done during their first encounter. Kith saw the apprentices he had met a year before practicing with lightsabers, cycling through several series of preordained movements. He should be out there with them. Why did Master Jassa abhor him so much that he would prevent Kith from fulfilling his destiny? For the second time, Kith left Truoin filled with anger. After a few months, Kith came to the conclusion that he must have missed something in his studies. He spent the next year going over every bit of information he had accumulated, searching for that one line he had missed that would allow him to finally become a Jedi. But when he was done, he had found nothing he had not known before. Despair replaced his anger and ambition, and he sank into depression, for he was forbidden the single thing that would make him happy. As the months passed, he began to wonder why he had become obsessed with being a Jedi in the first place. To feel the calmness the apprentices seemed to possess? Yes, that seemed at least partially correct. But what made his desire different from the students who Master Jassa had accepted without hesitation? The answer to that question was the key. He knew it. Again, he reviewed all the material he had gathered, this time combining it with Master Jassa's refusals and the apprentice's attitude. And then one day, everything slipped into place. He understood. He carefully packed some of his belongings in his starship, programmed the jump coordinates with due care, and traveled to Truuine. Upon landing, he set out for Master Jassa's compound, arriving there just before sunset.
"Master,"
Kith said.
"I am here."
Master Jassa surveyed the Gotal and said, "I see that you are. Why have you come?"
"I have come because the Force has called me, and I wish only to serve it."
Master Jassa nodded. "Would it please you to become a Jedi Knight?"
"It does not matter what pleases me. I will surrender myself to the Force and allow it to decide my destiny."
Again, Master Jassa nodded. "Your answers suggest that you have come to understand what it means to be a Jedi. But comprehension does not necessarily equate with being." He circled Kith slowly, inspecting him from every angle. "Do you think the difficulty is past? Do you realize that it has only just begun? What have you to say about that?" Kith remained motionless for a moment, and then locked gazes with the Jedi Master.
"There is no difficulty. There is only effort."
Jassa stared back for a pair of heartbeats, and then said, "Welcome to my humble compound, apprentice." Over the ensuing year, Kith learned much, and his training proceeded quickly. When Master Jassa was called away unexpectedly for an indefinite period of time, Kith and the rest of the apprentices from the compound journeyed to Ossus to complete their instruction. Kith eventually joined the task force sent to Onderon to fight the followers of Freedon Nadd and King Amun. During the battle, a dark side energy field drained away Kith's force shield, allowing a wave pulse from a nearby cannon to strike Kith a mortal blow. I hope you've enjoyed this reading of The Tale of Kith Kark